Some years ago, I did a video on this whole water myth that everyone needed to drink a certain amount of water or else they're going to be dehydrated. And it kind of shook up quite a few people because everyone knows that 8 glasses of water is like the law. You have to drink at least 8 glasses of water because your body is mostly water.
Do we really need 8 glasses of water a day? Did you know you can supercharge your health simply by drinking water correctly? Staying hydrated is crucial for health because water supports numerous functions in the body, from aiding digestion to maintaining optimal energy levels. The 8 glasses a day rule is commonly recommended, but it lacks specific scientific backing as an optimal hydration method. Dr. Berg, a health expert, questions this guideline and aims to debunk myths about hydration. He emphasizes that hydration needs can vary based on individual factors like age, weight, climate, and activity level. In today's video, Dr. Berg will be providing us with some insights. He will go through the 5 common lies or misconceptions about drinking more water since many people were taught to drink 8 glasses of water per day. However, he suggests that drinking 8 glasses might not be necessary for everyone and explains that too much water can dilute essential electrolytes, leading to imbalances. He also notes that certain foods, such as fruits and vegetables, contribute to hydration, which can sometimes reduce the need for drinking large amounts of water. But do you really need to do this?
The opposite theory of it can really put someone into a kind of a confusion. So I wanted to do this video to give you some interesting new points on water in general in its ability to hydrate your cells. What is hydration? Is hydration just water in your cells? How does that water get into the cell and out of the cell? The water gets in and out of the cell through little channels that get help with electrolytes. And electrolytes are like these electrically charged minerals that in different concentrations inside and outside the cell, you'll get a certain flow, either going outside the cell or going inside the cell. And so a truly hydrated cell has the right amount and a dehydrated cell is basically an imbalance of electrolytes and fluid. It's not just a lack of water. In fact, if you drink too much water, you're going to dilute certain electrolytes and create dehydration in certain parts of your body. There's a condition called hyponatremia. That means low sodium in the blood. One cause would be you just drank a lot of pure water without any salt, and now you diluted this sodium throughout the cells. And it's very, very dangerous. You can have inflammation of your brain. You can actually go into a coma. Now, on the flip side, I'm not against water. I drink water, and I think you should too. But this concept of, carrying your gallon jug of water and just forcing yourself to drink all day long might not be the wisest thing you can do, especially if you start bypassing the normal thirst mechanism that our body was designed to tell you if you're thirsty or not. When you're not thirsty and you force your body to drink a lot of water, you can end up in trouble, especially if you exercise. There's an incredible book by this, written by an exercise physiologist in long distance runners and even ultra marathon runners in relationship to hydration and if they should be drinking just a ton of water when they're not thirsty. They can end up with low sodium and actually create a big problem with their health. And then you have a lot of other fluids that you drink through the day that can create a diuretic effect. You can actually lose more water and become dehydrated when you drink things with caffeine, like coffee, tea, sodas. Anything you drink with caffeine is very dehydrating. And of course, alcohol, right? If you reflect back on the last time you drank a lot of alcohol the next morning, you're going to be completely dehydrated. That's why you have a headache. And so alcohol is a diuretic and it tends to dehydrate you as well. And then what about fruit juice? Okay, would that be hydrating? Well, here's the data with glucose. Let's just take a diabetic, for example. What happens with someone with high sugar? They're peeing a lot. They have urinary frequency and they're thirsty a lot too. So the more sugar in your blood, the more your body's going to get rid of water and the more dehydrated you're going to be. And so fruit juices, sodas, things with sugar will greatly dehydrate you. Now, what's fascinating is that sport drinks with added sugar. And apparently the idea is that if you're exercising, the loss of glucose, right, when you exercise, and they call this hydration, but is it really hydrating you? Does consuming glucose hydrate you? I'm going to tell you it dehydrates you. It pulls water from the cell. There is an interesting study, which I'll put down below. It's called the Nurses Health Study 2, which they did on a certain age group from 9 to 15. Now, this study wasn't about hydration, but it was interesting because it revealed an unknown consequence of drinking these healthy sports drinks. Now, the study found that if a teenager or young adult was consuming at least one soda a day, they would have an extra pound of weight.
According to Dr. Berg, hydration needs vary widely among individuals due to factors like climate, activity level, diet, and overall health. He argues that while water is essential, drinking plain water alone may not effectively hydrate at the cellular level. One key point Dr. Berg emphasizes is the role of electrolytes, which are minerals like sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium that help maintain fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contraction in the body. He suggests that electrolyte-rich beverages can be more effective for hydration than water alone, as electrolytes enhance water absorption and utilization by the cells. Dr. Berg recommends electrolyte supplements, such as his own electrolyte powder, as a practical option for replenishing these crucial minerals, especially for those who may lose electrolytes through sweating, intense exercise, or certain dietary habits. This approach to hydration challenges the one-size-fits-all 8 glasses guideline, encouraging a personalized method that takes into account individual lifestyle and dietary factors.
And I'm going to just generalize here. Teenagers that consumed soda a day on a regular basis gained an additional 2 pounds of weight, whereas those who consumed at least one sports drink a day, okay, these so-called healthy sports drinks with electrolytes, but with added sugar, gained 3.5 pounds of fat extra on their bodies. So the sports drink produced more fat than the sodas. Now, this is probably because these sports drinks usually come in like 32 ounces and sodas come in a 12 ouncer. So when you look at the label, you have to look at the serving size. And rarely does anyone just drink one serving size. They drink the whole thing, are consuming electrolyte powders. Many times these electrolyte powders and electrolyte drinks, and I won't mention any names, contain added sugar. And some per serving size contain like 11 grams of sugar per serving size. Now there's 4 grams of sugar per teaspoon. So that's just under 3 teaspoons of sugar for one serving size, okay? And we're not talking about like a whole bottle. We're just talking about one serving size or one of those little stick packs of electrolytes. Not to mention the source of the sugar. Was it beet sugar? Probably it was. And most of the beet sugar in the US is total GMO with traces of glyphosate, which is an herbicide. And even if they're doing sugarcane, unless it's organic, is going to have also traces of glyphosate. So that's on top of the sugar effect. So we have this effect of drinking more water. If you're going to add electrolytes to it, glucose, which basically is going to stop any ability to burn fat. And the only thing it probably would do for hydration is if someone had diarrhea, for example. There are types of oral rehydration therapies where they're adding glucose to minerals because in the intestine, the glucose will help retain sodium. If you're exercising and trying to be hydrated, or if you're not exercising and trying to be hydrated. To truly hydrate the cell, you need all the electrolytes. You need sodium, potassium, chlorides, calcium, and magnesium. Now, the professor who wrote the book Waterlogged, fascinating information in relationship to drinking more than what you're thirsty for. You have a thirst mechanism, and some people will say, well, you know, we don't really know when we're thirsty. We just have to force our body to drink so much water, and that's just the way it is. But he evaluated tremendous amounts of data, and he looked at studies that weren't funded by companies like Gatorade, for example. And he found that even runners, long distance runners, when they drink too much water, when they're not thirsty, they get into trouble. I think a really good principle would be to drink when you're thirsty and don't ever force yourself to drink too much, okay? Because you can start to dilute these electrolytes. Now, on the flip side, if you're prone to a kidney stone, you need to be drinking at least 2.5 liters of fluid every single day. But I would also add electrolytes to that. Now, are there any tests that you can do to see if you're drinking too much water? Sometimes people say, well, check your color of your urine and it should be clear. But I think there's a better test. In fact, it's pretty inexpensive. You could buy on Amazon or another platform these little urine strips that measure something called specific gravity, whether you're slightly dehydrated or you're really dehydrated or you've drinking too much water. Because on this urine strip that you're going to get, you're going to measure a lot of different things, but specific gravity measures and compares the density, how concentrated your urine is to actual water. Now, water has a specific gravity or density of 1, and urine, if it's normal, should have a density of 1.002 to 1.030. So if your urine specific gravity is low, okay, and what I mean by low is if it's less than 1.010, you have mild dehydration. So the closer you are to the specific gravity of water, which is 1.000, the less electrolytes you have, and the more you need to take electrolytes or drink less water. So specific gravity kind of tells you the concentration of particles in your urine. And of course, when you drink a lot of water, you dilute that. A lot of the electrolytes that you're going to get will come from your food if you eat healthy. But also realize there are things that you're consuming that are depleting your electrolytes too, like refined sugar, like alcohol.
And there we have it. By incorporating these simple hydration habits into our daily routine, we can optimize our health, boost energy levels, and feel our best daily. Dr. Berg emphasizes that our hydration needs vary based on activity, climate, and individual differences. Instead of a fixed amount, we should drink when thirsty. This video offers practical tips for maximizing health benefits through proper hydration habits. The study emphasizes the importance of paying attention to our body's signals and consulting a healthcare professional for personalized advice on hydration and nutrition. So, do you agree with what Dr. Eric Berg has discussed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.